the Son.
Oh, so like I know where it says that he was the Word was with God and the Word was God.
Thank you.
That's what you're talking about.
That's part of it. But this is what I'm talking about. Get Colossians 2 and 13. Read.
Colossians 1 and 13.
1 and 13.
Who have delivered us from the power of darkness and have translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son.
He translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son. Muhammad is not bringing a kingdom. Christ is. Read.
And whom we have redemption through his blood, even forgiveness of sin.
Have what?
Forgiveness of sin.
We have redemption through his blood. Our people had the law of sacrifice. So in order for us to come back to the Father, something or someone had to die, sister. He's our sacrifice. So that we can come back to the Father. Read.
Who is the image of the invisible God?
He's the image of the invisible God. So he looked just like the Father did in heaven. Read.
The firstborn of every creature.
He was the what?
The firstborn of every creature.
He was the first spirit created. Read. That's what makes him the Son, not the genealogy in Matthew's, because he was the Son before Matthew's. Read.
For by him were all things created.
Christ made everything under the orders of his Father. Everything you see was made by the Spirit Christ, by the Spirit Yeshua. Read.
That are in heaven and that are in earth.
Everything you see was made by him. Okay? And that is what gives him all levels of credibility to be the Son of the Most High and the sacrifice and the last prophet. There's no need for Muhammad. You know who needed Muhammad? The Arabs. They were the people running around worshiping one God for each day of the year. We didn't need that. We already had information. We already had Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That was for the Arab, sister. And, believe it or not, Islam was forced on us through the sword. Sister, look at history. Can you do me a favor? You have a computer?
Christianity was forced on people.
Yeah, we don't follow Christianity. You're right. They both throw them both in the trash and flush them down the toilet. Both of them. Islam and Christianity need to be in the same place. Nowhere. Okay? Religion is why there's wars all over this earth. Why people are being destroyed. There's no religion. Christ was not a religion. Moses wasn't a religion. Abraham wasn't a religion. There's only one God, the God of Israel. You don't even know that the name Allah comes from a female deity in Persian mythology.
That's not true, but even the Christians over there in Mecca call him Allah. Allah just means, and matter of fact, if you go by what Jesus said, Jesus, when he was on the cross, he said, Eli. When you translate Eli, it's translated into Allah. When he was on the cross,
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Sis, do you know that you're an Israelite? Do you know that you're from the children of Israel? Let me show you that this Bible is your Bible. Go to Deuteronomy 28:68. Give me that. Give me this, man, because he needs to know that. Did you know that our slave ships was written up in the Bible, sister? Huh? Did you know what people it was talking about? Get Deuteronomy 27:1. Read it. Read it. Read it.
Deuteronomy 27:1. And Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day.
He told Moses and the Israelites to keep the commandments. We were the people that served in Egypt. We're the same people serving here, Israel. Read Deuteronomy 28:68. I'm going to show you that it was prophesied that we would come over here and serve. Not in the Quran. You can't read yourself in the Quran. You can only find yourself in your book, the Bible. Read Deuteronomy 28:68. Read it.
Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ship.
With what?
With ship.
With what?
With ship.
You can't find this in the Quran, sister. You can't find your condition in the Quran.
And I also know God told Abraham, no, but surely your seed will be lost in the land. It's not theirs, and they sure reflecting for 400 years.
But
the only one that's serving for 400 years.
But that's exactly, we're Israel. That should tell you that we're not Islam. You should step away. These are Israelites, sister. Read.
By the with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
The Most High said we would never see our homeland ever again. And there you shall be what?
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
To your friends?
Unto your enemies.
Your buddies?
Your enemies.
Your what?
Your enemies.
We were sold to our enemies. And guess who sold us? Hamitic people, which are Africans, and Shemitic people, which are Ishmael or Arabs. It was Muslims that was behind this, and it was the Jewish people that financed the slave ships that we came over on. Then you shall be sold to your enemies for what?
For bondmen. and bondwomen.
A slave man and a slave woman. This is your foreparents. Why deny your foreparents, which predates Islam? For Arabs. Come on, sister. You are a sister. Shake loose. And I'll tell you this. Sister, who told you to worship Jesus? We never told you that. You still get us mixed up with Christians. Christ never said worship him. Christ never said do that. Christ said, in this manner pray ye, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. They tried to make Christ a God when he was here, and he told them, listen, no man doeth good. You must serve the Father. Christianity turned him into a God because they were following three separate male deities: Poseidon, Neptune, and Zeus. Poseidon, Jupiter, and Zeus, excuse me. So what did they do? They switched those three gods from ancient Rome into the Trinity and said that you must worship Jesus. So sis, you got the wrong guys. We don't worship Jesus. But we know if you don't accept Jesus in his baptism, you can't get to the Father, because you don't know the Father if you don't know Christ. Give me 1 John, the 5th chapter. 5 and 7, read it.
1 John 5 and 7.
Before that, get the third verse. Get the first verse.
Whosoever believeth that Jesus is the Christ is born of God.
Read it in the Hebrew. Read Jesus, so we won't get Jesus out of the way, because his name ain't Jesus. His name is Yeshua. Read it.
Whosoever believeth that Yeshua is Christ is born of the Most High.
So you are born of the Most High if you believe that Christ was born in the beginning with the Father. Read.
And everyone that loveth him that begot loveth him also that is begotten of him.
If you love the Father, then you will love the one that was sent to show you the way back to the Father. If you can respect Muhammad to show you the way back, why can't you respect your own brother?
I do. I love Jesus. I believe.
All right, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, now. Here we go now. Read.
By this we know that we love the children of the Most High.
This is how we know that we love the children of Israel. How?
When we love the Most High and keep his commandments.
When we do what?
Love the Most High and keep his commandments.
His commandments are not contained in the Quran. They're contained in the Bible, the Torah. You will have Muslims that will say, I don't eat pork. Pork is not good. But yet they'll eat camel back, and in the law tell you camel is unclean. They'll eat shrimp, crab, lobster, and in the Bible, in the law, they tell you that's unclean. So in order for you to keep the commandments right, sister, you must go to the original book that they copied from, the Bible. And I'm going to say this again, sister. In Islam, they lied on King James, the same way they lie on you now. They put you in court and lie on you and say all types of stuff against you. They're doing the same thing by lying on King James. King James authorized the translation to preserve the records for you so you'll have them today. He was a brother that was killed during the Renaissance period. He was the last king, a black king during the Dark Ages that sat on 3 thrones at one time. And I knew he was in Islam based on the statement because everyone in Islam repeat the same thing like their parrots. When you said King James was a homosexual white man, you didn't have to tell me you was a Muslim. Because every Muslim say the same thing. They repeat the same lie without research.
I did. That's how
All right. Sister, believe me. Do you know about the Dark Ages?
Yes, I did.
Sister, you know about the Dark Ages?
I don't listen to what, I don't care if it's Islam, Christianity, I don't listen to something. I don't do my own
I'll tell you what.
I do my own.
Sis, I'll tell you what. I'll do this. Because I'm not going to say you're lying. You bring some research to me next. I won't be here next Saturday, but the Saturday after next. You bring me research to prove that King James was a white man and a homosexual. And I will make Hajj.
Fine enough.
How about that?
What time will you be out here?
Week after next.
Yeah, week
And bring your imam with you.
No, I don't have a imam with you.
Okay.
But hey, I can bring somebody, but like, what time will you
Sis,
be out here?
do you know that we ruled Europe during the Dark Ages? You know Jews ruled Europe, black Jews ruled Europe during the Dark Ages? That's why you don't know King James was a black man. Let me tell you, all the nations have conspired together to keep the fact that you've been ruling all your life. Even before this captivity, you were rulers. That's why it's hard for you to believe that King James was black. But they took him down and beheaded his son. He was one of the last black kings to reign from what you call the Byzantine Empire. They call it Byzantine, they call it backwards empire, because they knew black people ruled. They teach you in their colleges that there were 1,000 years of dark history that no one knew would happen for 1,000 years.
You said King James, but King James didn't translate that Bible to the 1600s or something.
Exactly. You have to realize the Renaissance period started in the 1400s. And King James was at the very end of the Renaissance. What was Renaissance? Renaissance means rebirth. They were reborn in themselves. The Caucasians were doing a rebirth over in Europe and taking over thrones. King James was one of the last brothers to sit on a throne. And before he did that, if you look in the preface, it tells you he authorized the translation